I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to visit with Pennsylvania Secretary of Agriculture, Russ Redding. Thank you so much for joining me for a few minutes.
Great to see you.
We spent some time over at the sheep barn, and I was looking at the big screen, and there I saw you riding on a tractor. I think it was the tractor square dance. What was that like for you?
Well, you know, so of all the farm shows I've done as secretary, never before had I stepped into or onto any of those tractors. So our Somerset County tractor square dancers have been harassing me to say, you've got to get out there. You can't just watch it. So it was pretty amazing, right? So two words of instruction. One, put the seatbelt on and hang on.
Airbags, no airbags?
No airbags, okay. Yeah. A lot of air in the face, but no airbags.
I have to admit it was entertaining to watch that. My own daughter was showing her sheep, and I was looking up and seeing you in the screen there.
Yeah.
And I was a little envious until the thing started doing 360s. I got the impression I probably would have been very dizzy if I was on the tractor.
Well, if you're holding onto a steering wheel, I think that probably takes some of the dizziness out. But I can tell you, if you're not holding on to a steering wheel, you feel a little dizzy.
Well, just between the two of us, since this is a very private conversation,
I know.
will you be getting back on one of those tractors for a square dance?
I'll do it again.
Okay.
You know, if you know, if it's choreographed, it's obviously choreographed. If you're driving, you know where the thing's going to turn. If you're in the auxiliary seat, you don't know if that tractor's going left or right? So you're always sort of a little off balance, but it was fun. It's great to do.
I have to admit, the first time that I watched that a few years back, I sat in the stands and was laughing.
Yeah.
All right, you know, because the way people were dressed, the music. But when you think about the choreography of that and how they were all synchronized and everybody performed their task with exceptional skill.
Untold hours, you know, in that training to do it, because those guys, when you watch them, they've got their own safety. They've got ear devices, so they can talk to each other and listen. They were very intently watching sort of wheels, so they were running closer to each other or where to turn. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And I think it speaks to the camaraderie and the fun-loving spirit of our agricultural community. We know it's our #1 industry, but when you think of the Granges and the various clubs, the 4-H, FFA, that have risen out of agriculture, it's a character building opportunity in rural America, and my daughters are benefiting from it in 4-H.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, it speaks to the theme this year of inspiring Pennsylvania's story. And every time I say it, you know, it's a great reminder that, you know, it's the tractor square dancers, it's the 4-H kids in the show ring, it's the folks on the culinary stage. Every little piece of that is a story, right? How they got there, what motivates them, what keeps them there, and that's what we're trying to capture, and that's the story of agriculture.
You're the Secretary of Agriculture for a significantly large agriculture producing state. Did you ever imagine, I'm not talking in your childhood years, but professionally, you were a college professor, you're an agriculture man yourself. Did you ever imagine yourself being the Secretary of Agriculture, and what was the reaction when you were asked to fill that job?
No, I can honestly tell you it was not on my sort of, even within view. I mean, I knew of the Department of Agriculture, I knew the secretaries by engagement and involvement with organizations, but I had no sort of thought that was going to be even an opportunity at some point in my life. When I got a call to help, it was the oddest sort of set of circumstances, because I was working for a Democratic senator, U.S. senator, and a Republican governor had been elected. And my thought is there's no way. But it was interesting, the relationship I had with the agricultural community and the work that we did on agricultural policy, and really believing that the agricultural work is not a partisan issue, right? It's about what are the needs of agriculture. And that was the conversation, and began work as a deputy secretary, then secretary, and very honored to do it.
As a jumping off point, so it's bipartisan, and I'm assuming we're probably a day or two away from figuring out what our committee assignments. I'm guessing I'll be back on the House Agricultural Affairs Committee.
Yeah.
And on the House Agricultural Affairs Committee, and I think it's true of several other committees like the Veterans Affairs Committee, we're out socializing with members across the aisle. We're working on common issues. Eddie Day Pashinsky was in Berks County, meeting with some Penn State folks on the challenges that we have there and the nation is facing with spotted lanternfly. I find it refreshing to be on a committee like that, to be working with you, to be on a committee where there's really no sparks. And I think sometimes the public window is there's conflict between the administration and the legislature, and I have not found that to be true. Certainly the work that we've done with you.
I'll tell you, I mean, no one has ever asked about the party when they call me about a problem, right? And I'm sure it's the same with you, right? There's an issue that needs some concern, they have a concern, how do we help them? And I mean, it really is refreshing. You said it well, that we can talk about these issues and try to find answers for agriculture in the community, so, yeah.
I have some growers and some fresh fruit producers in our area. We regularly stop by and visit them, but I can't ever remember asking whether a Democrat or Republican produced the fruit itself. You're in the saddle now. You've got a full administrative term under your belt. We expect to see you sitting here 4 years from now?
Yeah, I'm going to stay. The governor's asked me to remain, and I'm honored to do it. Any day that your vocation and avocation are the same, it's a gift. And I really feel that way, that you stand here and look around, and all of these people have a connection to us somehow, right? Not just as a commonwealth and as consumers, but really connected to agriculture. And feel very special to do that.
A couple years ago, we were sitting down here and we couldn't be prophetic as to what the emerging challenges would be, Pennsylvania agriculture, but spotted lanternfly, I'm sure, has come up in conversations before. Where are we at? Where are we headed? How optimistic are we? What kind of investments are we making?
Yeah. Well, I say to everybody, if you've followed this for the last couple of years, you know it started out in your district in that region, and in 2014 went to 3 counties to 9 counties to 13 counties. We have it contained into the 13 counties, right? So it hasn't gone to beyond that. We've got Penn State University and other universities in Pennsylvania and really around the country engaged on the research. There's 25 different research projects looking at the basic biology of this pest to the control methods of it. I feel like we've got the partnership established with the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Penn State. So a year ago, we were struggling with how to do that, right? We had no state resources outside of what we were putting in. We now have the $3 million, and thank you for your support of that in the state budget. We have the U.S. Department of Agriculture. You said it well on the front side that it is a national concern, right? It's a threat to the nation. We just happen to have it. So the USDA recognizes that and been really helpful, putting resources in, manpower in. So we're entering 2019, at least with the resources in place, a management plan, a control method in place, research underway. So we're in a better spot. It doesn't give us an answer to the spotted lanternfly yet. The answer is found in science and getting that research, so we're probably a year or so away to have that.
Right, and we're pleased to have state assets on the ground in Berks County. I've met with some folks. I didn't know you could get a doctorate in plant hoppers. I might have initially been attracted to that, but I became a physical education major and certified to teach as well. I got my tickets to the rodeo. Now, I saw you on a tractor. Okay, is it likely we'll see you on any other animal here during the course of the show?
Yeah, probably not, right? So I'll get on the tractors. It has a steering wheel, an operator, and some brakes. Not the case when you go out to shoot, right? But have fun.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to you and your entire team, because as you move around here, the show, and I've spent some time here the last couple of days, you take a personal interest. It's little gal who came over here, she was a princess for something. She knows who you are, she looks up to you. You take a personal interest in people in this building and what you're doing. And the fact that you're able to visit 15, 20 minutes here and there tells me that you've got some backstop and there's some people that you're really counting on and some rock solid lieutenants. You inherited some, you hired some, you developed others.
Yeah. You've got it. I mean, that's a great read, and I appreciate you sort of acknowledging their support. It doesn't happen without them, so great people. Well done.
Well, thank you to the entire team. I'm going to let you go. I know you have other folks that you'd like to talk to. I'm sure we'll see you at the cotton candy or the milkshake stand at some point.
I'll see you in the food court.
Thank you so much, Secretary Red.
Congratulations. Thank you.